Hi again, it's me, and today we are doing another beginner's makeup video. And today we are moving right along to eyeshadow. And again, we are working with affordable drugstore products. This is from Walmart. I believe it's $12 or $13. It's the Profusion Festival palette. So without further rambling, let's get to it. Now we are going to be going all out and doing 4 shades. You don't have to use 4 shades, but I wanted to cover as much as I could. And we're obviously doing this look, and I'm doing my eyeshadow dry today, meaning I powdered my eyelids before all the eyeshadow. I feel like that's easiest for beginners. And I'm using these browns over here. You can use whatever color you like, just follow the same steps. I know eyeshadow can be daunting, but we're gonna get there, okay? You and me. Okay, so now that we are uncomfortably close, if the focus is ever so slightly off now and again, I'm sorry, it's really hard to focus this close. Okay, so we're gonna need a fluffy brush like this. That is, what's the opposite of dense? Not dense. We're gonna go into this sort of pukey brown color here. This is gonna be the transition shade. This is gonna be the lightest one we use. Now, every time you dip your brush, you wanna put it down first where you want the most pigment and blend from there. So since this is the transition shade, I'm gonna put it right above my crease right here, sort of in the corner, and just blend in sort of windshield wiper motions like this. And then I like to go over the edges in circular motions like this and just really diffuse that color out. Another thing to think about at this point is the shape that you want. So I tend to go for this kind of like cat eye upturned style. So I like to kind of wing it out like this. But if you like that sort of doll eyes, doe eye kind of vibe, you can always keep the shape more round. Using the same fluffy brush, I'm just gonna bring it under my eye. I like to go all the way in with the transition shade. And then in the outer corner, you wanna put it in the corner here to connect the bottom portion to the top. So after that first shade, this is what we've got. Okay, so we're moving on to our medium shade. I'm using this one right here, and we're using a slightly smaller, denser brush. So we want to keep this shade in the same shape, but contained to a slightly smaller space. So we're going to do the place and blend technique. So let me show you. So we're going to first place this right on the outer corner and into the crease slightly above, about halfway in. Focus on placing, we're going to blend in a second. Then we're just going to put it onto the lid, same brush, and go about halfway in. This is not going to look perfect at this point, but it's fine. So I like to blend this lid part first. You can just kind of use little sweeping motions to blend out that line. So I like to blend this line with this kind of dense brush. I wipe off all the product first and then just sort of sit it down and do little sweeping motions out this way. And I'm normally pretty happy with this, but if you want, you can take a clean fluffy brush and blend the edges some more with circular motions. Then I'm going to take my dense brush and put it under, and I'm going to stop about halfway in. And don't forget to bring it upwards to connect it to the upper part. Following so far? Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're going into our darkest shade here, same dense brush. And we're doing the same place and blend technique we just did, just smaller and more contained. So again, first placing right at the corner of the eye where we want the most pigment, and sort of drag it onto the eyelid about a quarter of the way in. And when I'm doing this, I like for the bottom to go a little further in than the top to almost act as sort of an eyeliner situation and give sort of a lifted effect. And I like to blend this darkest shade into the crease the tiniest bit. Just don't go too high or all the shades are gonna get all coagulated together. And we're gonna go under again about a quarter of the way in this time. Keep it as close to the lash line as you can and connect it up here, right at the corner of your eye. And I like to just sweep outwards just a tiny bit, again to sort of give that lifted effect. And I'm just very, very lightly blending the edges with that kind of sweeping motion I showed you earlier. So just place the brush down on the edge and just flick outwards. And that was the hard part, so if you made it this far, pat yourself on the back. Now, if you like a matte eyeshadow, you can always just leave it like this, or we can do the fun stuff, aka shimmers. So I'm using this one right here, and I like to just do this with my finger because the warmth from your body heat does give it the most pigment. Just putting it right on the inner part of my eyelid, blending it into that matte color. There's not much science to it. Now I'm just putting it on my pinky and putting it on the inner corner. and right under the eyebrow. Ideally, I would have plucked my eyebrows for this, but I didn't. And that is the finished eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face. It'll be a while for me. It'll be a split second for you, so... And we are back. I hope this was even a little helpful. I know eyeshadow is tricky AF. And as always, please let me know what you want to see next, and thank you for hanging out with me today. If you like beginner makeup videos, then go ahead and subscribe. I can't offer you much in return, but it will make me very happy. That's the trade-off. And that's all I have for you, so I will see you next week. Bye!